Welcome to the Biz for Good Show with your hosts, Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz for Good podcast is a fun and adventurous series that dives into the world of business, nonprofit, and startups, making a difference in the world for good. Get ready for another episode. Hey, cue that sick intro.
Introducing Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. Biz for Good.
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. We are starting with a bang. We're actually starting right. We're not, well, hopefully we're starting right, Ryan?
Always.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Dash, with us today.
Woo.
We are excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Michael, for saying yes to these wild and crazy guys that said, hey, come talk to us.
Absolutely wild and crazy. It's my middle name. So let's get this going.
We're in the right space, Ryan. Let's turn the time over to Ryan for segments. As usual, Michael has said, yeah, sure, I'll take the challenge and be on the segments with you. So he's here to talk with us about the segments.
Awesome. Thanks for being in the studio.
Oh, and unfortunately, Sky is not here, so we're going to wing it.
We're winging it, folks. All right, we're going to start with the B4G studio news, and we want to thank our sponsors at this time. We've got to say thank you to them.
Thank you to the sponsors. Without the sponsors, well, we'd still probably do the show.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. So, again, with Regraphics, we're going to be...
Regraphics. You have graphics? How about regraphing those graphics?
That's right. So Regraphics specializes helping startup entrepreneurs, leaders, founders, and all those crazy cool guys and ladies. And
don't forget the ladies.
Yeah, you can't
They're
forget the ladies.
too.
Amazing women entrepreneurs.
Oh,
there
amazing.
is. There
Can't
really
forget 'em.
is.
We are grateful for them. Regraphics is a full design company that dives deeper into your brand and provides free design audit to see if your graphics are reaching your market.
How do you find regraphics?
You can go to facebook.com/regraphics with an X, and then 801-970-2732. Call directly.
Awesome. We also like to say, Speak Up Speaker Studio, professional speaker studio. If you are a speaker, wannabe speaker, if you're an entrepreneur, you know you're going to make more impact in front of the room than you are going to be giving your business card to the guy beside you. So be the person in front of the room. Learn how to make the impact you want to make in the world by getting up and speaking your message. A lot of people say they want to be a speaker, but they don't understand what the message is inside them to get it out. And that's what Professional Speaker Studio is all about. It's the studio to come and learn and grow and connect with your message to connect with everybody else. So check it out, speakupspeakers.com.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Check
get
it out.
speaking.
All right, and if you
We can't forget EFL 360, EFL360.com. Entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders. If you want a space to come and connect with people that are creating companies, that are making companies, that have been founders, that know how to lead. If you want a space where it's safe for you to have your ideas, your entrepreneurial spirit, and get some excitement going on, come to EFL 360, EFL360.com. Go to the meetings and click and see where we're at.
All right, Bobby.
I get excited.
Do you do voiceovers by any chance?
I think that's our next move, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do that.
Ryan actually has the coolest voice, but he's kicking back.
Always wanted to do that.
I can't read, though, so it would be hard for me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can't
You
read
can-
a little. I can read.
So, yeah, just a reminder, if you found this podcast and listening to us, we also do a live, streaming every Thursday at 2 p.m. You can find us and look at our crazy studio. And
Waving. And
Amazing.
we've got hashtag I'm activated.
I am activated.
dash I.
Hashtag dash.
Hashtag
I'm activated.
am activated.
I'm
Check it
messing this up.
Also, yeah, that's okay. No editing here, so go for it.
All right. Also, big thank you to Sky. We mentioned her, but she's been doing a lot behind the scenes stuff.
Man, she's been getting us great bookings. She hooked up with Michael, and we're booked out till September, dude.
Yeah, so you got to, You want to be on the show.
We got some cool folks.
You gotta
coming up,
do what you gotta do.
Of course, all of our guests are amazing guests, and Michael is no exception. We're excited to talk to him.
And that's right. Also, I'm on a campaign, Bobby.
A campaign.
I looked at our stats, and nobody's listening to us in New Mexico. So if you know somebody in New Mexico,
I know a couple people in New
right.
Mexico.
Oh, awesome!
We're
There we
gonna
go.
make
We
it.
got it in.
I will get you at least one listener in New Mexico. My commitment to you guys.
all right.
Awesome.
Hashtag I'm activated.
I'm
That's
activated.
right.
Absolutely. That's a be good, do good, baby.
Thanks, Michael.
Anytime.
So we wanted to talk about the painting just again.
Oh,
We got
yes.
it.
We got the painting. That's
What
right.
painting are we talking about?
Oh my gosh, we've got to show it. We haven't uploaded the unveiling. Oh my goodness. So Michael, this is Cassie Swirls. She is a 5-year-old girl in Australia.
Wow.
And
Australia.
portions of their stuff goes to
A lot of good cause.
yeah, a lot of good causes. But she's 5 years old. You give her some. She takes some paint and a fork and some glitter, and she goes to town. And they
That's
say she's
amazing.
making some of the coolest universe paintings that are out there. And we got her to. She only can write in capital letters, so she got us a Biz for Good.
That
so
is
awesome.
amazing. When I was 5 years old, the only thing I could use was spin art. I don't know if you remember that back in the day.
yes!
But I just dated myself, obviously. And,
I remember that.
Oh, I had so much fun with that.
You
Oh, yeah.
squirt on
yeah.
it, it's
Oh,
so
that just went all over the house. I loved it.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
yes.
it was great.
That's super cool. So we'd love to say thank you to Cassie. We're going to have her and her mom on the show in August, right? August 3rd? If
Something
Sky
like
was
that.
here, she'd tell us yes, but yeah. Cool.
So we'll start into the segments. The first one is Biz Hack.
Biz hack today.
Biz hack.
How are you going to hack the biz today?
So I heard this was a routine that Tony Robbins did. Now, I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but that's what I heard.
You found it on the internet, right? And then it's
It was
gotta be true.
another guy that was they were mentors together or whatever. So if he said it, it must be true. But I'll
Well,
go
Michael
through.
has been to Tony, and he's good friends with Tony, so
Oh.
we can.
We'll see if this.
Good friends might be a little bit of a stretch.
He
Since
did that well. He really did that well.
It was 14 years ago, and yeah, I was on the list of people who purchased tickets. That's how close we are.
Very good. Very good. So he knows. I'm just saying. That's all
All right.
I'm saying.
So we won't talk about these until after, okay?
Okay.
After I'm done.
Oh, you're
then
going to
we-
list them,
I'm gonna
and
do-
then we're going to talk?
it's a
Because you
routine.
know we started running away. Is that what you're telling me?
So let me just read it, and then we'll talk about it. Is that cool?
Fine.
I'm sorry.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, the morning routine that he talked about and to get you in the mindset of, moving forward and moving your business and self-improvement is these 6 questions. All right, you ready? You ask these questions to yourself every morning. The first one is, what am I happy about in my life right now? What about that makes me happy?
Is that the second question?
It's like they're like follow-up
okay.
questions. How does it make you feel?
Is that all the same question?
That's one question.
Okay. That seems
Number
like
2.
3 questions.
Number 2 is, what am I excited about in my life right now? What about that makes me excited? How does it make me feel?
Got it.
Third one is, what am I proud of my life right now? What about it makes me proud? How does it make me feel? Number 4, what am I grateful for in my life right now? What about that makes me grateful? How does it make me feel? Number 5, what am I enjoying most in my life right now? What about that do I enjoy? And how does it make me feel?
Awesome.
Number 6 is, what am I committed to in my life right now? What about that makes me committed? And how does it make me feel?
Awesome. What stands out to you, Michael?
Deep thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you ask these questions and you start feeling grateful, or what am I excited about?
You know, it really comes down to, people talk about affirmations and stuff like that, but it really comes down to mindset. If your mindset is about growing and moving forward and getting excited about life, then you bring more of that to you, right? But if your mindset is, man, life sucks, and gosh, why does life keep sucking? Well, that's what you're looking at.
Right. I couldn't agree more. I think it comes down to, at least for me, and the transformations that I've gone on throughout my life, is you have to first love yourself and you have to treat yourself well in order to be the best at whatever you're doing and in order to treat others the way they deserve to be treated. So
You
I
can't
think it
love others
starts
until
with-
you love yourself.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, and I personally neglected that for years, and it showed up in who I was, and I wasn't the person that I am now, and that I wanted to be. So for me, it all starts at that core, and making sure that you're taking care of yourself, because you take care of yourself, then when you're taking care of others, it's at a different level, and it just has a different meaning to it.
So true. That is super powerful.
So maybe some of these things you could apply in your morning routine.
Are you putting the Biz Hack on? You're putting it on the Facebook page, right? So
It'll be
folks
later
can-
on today.
Okay, but it will be there.
It will be there.
I actually do some meditations that actually talk about a couple of these points through the meditation. So as I'm meditating, they're talking about
Those would be
what do you
great
have to be
mantras.
thankful
All
for?
all
Yeah.
6 of those questions would be powerful mantras while you're meditating.
Yeah.
And you use a couple of them yourself.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Wow, awesome. All right, into the good news segment. This is a story of Shri. She comes from another country. I can't remember right now what country. I am so sorry, but it's on the Facebook page, and there's a video. It's an awesome story. It's called A Journey to Inspire. And I'm just going to talk about the story. You can go on her Facebook and watch the video, because they do much better than I can do in a heartbeat. But
Awesome.
what she was like 23 years old, and she got into a motorcycle accident, and she was paralyzed from the chest down. And rather than woe is me and being in a wheelchair, she wants to do a journey to inspire. So she's going 1,200 miles, or she did 1,200 miles on a motorcycle. So she's
Paralyzed from
from the chest
chest
down.
down.
She rigged this really cool motorcycle that she could put her wheelchair in, and then she's traveling 1,200 miles to visit people that are special needs or whatever, and trying to inspire them to get out. There's a picture here. She's on a surfboard. So, anyways, watch the video. It's great. And she helps and works with an organization called UCP Wheels of Humanity.
Awesome. Check that out on the Facebook page. It's powerful.
Shri.
That's amazing.
That is so cool. Life, we complain and worry about stuff, and sometimes you don't realize just how amazing life is.
How fortunate we are. And the things that people complain about are utterly ridiculous. I used to complain about these things. Like, I don't need to hear about
Our first
the weather,
world problems.
the weather and the traffic. Oh my God, the world is going to end.
Yeah.
And you look at somebody like Shri, and then, it just kind of humbles you.
It took me an hour to get to work. Oh, man, life
Yeah.
sucks. No, actually, it's pretty beautiful that you have a job to go to
Yeah.
or whatever.
And the cool thing, I mean, she was hit by a motorcycle.
And she's
And
driving.
then she's
one.
on, so she's facing, something that's probably traumatic to her.
Facing her fears.
That's
Something that really anyone who can face their fears and overcome them. I mean, I've been reading this book, The Obstacle is the Way. It's an amazing book. And
The obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
Do you know who the author
And,
is?
I should know the author.
That's
I've
okay.
been
We'll look
talking
it up.
about this book.
Let's
so
put it
many
on
times.
Facebook. I like it when
Yeah.
when folks.
I will let you know
That
about
sounds
it.
like I'm always looking for a new good book.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, because most people are, worried about, all right, how am I going to get around this? How am I going to avoid this? How am I going to deal with this? I don't want to deal with it. But the answer is the title of the book, that the obstacle, whatever that obstacle is in your life, is the way. Shri's a perfect example
Don't run
of that.
away from it.
Yeah.
Go face it head
Right.
on and grow from it and become better.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Awesome. Powerful.
All right.
We have our guest here today that gets to
The quote of the day.
quote of the day.
Beautiful. Okay. Don't get mad. Don't get even. Do better. Much better. Rise above. Become so what is that word?
Engulfed.
Engulfed.
It's spelled weird
I
right
had
there. It
these
looks weird.
LASIK surgery. But become so engulfed in your own success that you forget it ever happened.
Oh, I love that. Become so engulfed in your own success, forget whatever bad stuff, blah, 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 or just acknowledge that, hey, it's what made you successful.
Yeah, I feel. Did you pick that quote out for me personally? Because
Yeah, we
It
said
really-
Michael Dash is coming. Let's give him that quote.
Well,
it resonates.
that's his thing.
It definitely resonates. I used to be the guy who would get mad and who would figure out, how do I get even? I'm not going to let this person one up me and get me. And everything that reads onto is who the person I've become, and focusing on, that success and realizing, you're here for a reason, and, it's not to worry about if somebody stabbed you in the back, how you're going to get them back. It's, you know what, it's more about like, hey, now I have one less person I have to worry about in my life doing that to me again.
Awesome. With that said, should we jump right into, or do we have anything else, or should we jump right in? Because I think that's going to lead right into talking about Mr. Dash.
Right into the interview.
So because you've kind of hinted, you said I used to be that guy. So we kind of want to know, can you kind of give us your anthology, kind of the story of your maybe transformation, or just let us get to know Michael Dash.
Sure. Yeah. So if you couldn't tell, even though I'm trying to keep it at a minimum, this accent is actually not from Utah.
Kind of.
Yeah, this is a Utah accent right here.
Right on. I'm from Texas, but nobody says I have a Texas accent. So I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, I either get New York or Boston.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. Well, don't say Boston.
Oh right, understood.
New York is fine.
Jersey, baby.
Yeah, I'm actually originally from Jersey.
That's it.
Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, and my father was an entrepreneur. So I grew up in a house where he worked a ton, and he wore his emotions on his sleeve. And I worked with him at an early age, starting at 10 years old, helping him out in the stores and everything. And he would actually, he would get upset at his employees and vocalize it. And so that's what I learned. And that's kind of the mentality that was ingrained in me. Not that he was trying to do that, but
Just he was being the best dad he could, and that's what that dad did.
Right, exactly. And as I went to school, I went to college in Maryland, and then I got a job in the staffing business in New York City. So I worked in New York for 10 years. And, yeah.
Manhattan,
NYC, baby.
Oh wow,
Lived there, worked there, did the grind.
What years?
So that was I've been here 10 years now.
Oh, so it was
So
10
it was the
years.
previous
So
10
you
years.
were 9/11. You were there.
I was there for 9/11.
Oh wow.
My brother was actually working in the commodities exchange, which is across from where the planes hit. He saw the second plane hit, and he ran out and hopped on a ferry because he lived in Hoboken, and darted back to Hoboken, which is across the Hudson.
Wow.
Yeah, we couldn't reach him. All the phone lines were busy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I was there for that.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after all that happened, I was working in New York City, and I was actually this is how I came to Utah, because everybody asks me, like, well, why are you here? What made you come here?
From New York City.
Yeah. Now, it's somewhat cool to come to Utah now. It's a lot cooler than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, people,
Utah. What are you crap you want to be there for?
they didn't believe me. They're like,
I came here 21 years ago, so
oh, wow, yeah.
nobody knew what Utah was.
Yeah, so they a lot of my friends thought I was in California and just lying to them, but no, I was in Utah.
That's awesome.
And I basically was calling on E-Trade Financial in New York City, and they said to me, we don't have any business here. If you happen to know somebody in Sandy, Utah, we're trying to hire 200 financial service reps in the next 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
I happen to know one person in Utah. And I had worked with her at my previous company in staffing. I called her up. I said, hey, do you want to put a bid on this? This is an amazing opportunity. If you don't want to, I'll find somebody else. And she was like, yeah, let's put a bid in. Put the bid in. We won it. We filled all 200 positions in 3.5 weeks. Then we got projects in Alpharetta, Georgia, Jersey City, and Tampa, Florida. And in 1 year, we filled 800 positions for E-Trade. And that was a side hustle at the time because I still had my regular job in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's when I said, okay, I don't need to really work for anybody anymore.
It's time to jump off.
Right. That's what led me out to Utah and opening Parallel HR.
Wow. Awesome. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
So I like to say, because you just mentioned your business, Parallel HR, and we're going to get there. We want to talk about it, but let's ask our standard question first, and then go to that. What do you think? Or should we do it? Or should we find out about his business and then what Biz for Good means to Michael? What do you think, Michael?
Let's roll with it.
Okay, let's
whatever
roll.
is flowing. We
Since
all
you
believe in
opened it-
flow. We
yes,
talked
we
about
all
it,
believe in
so-
flow. Let's go with the flow
We will
and
go with the
say
flow.
I think you were just connecting. What is Parallel HR and what does that do? And then we'll talk about what Biz for Good means to you. So.
Sure, great. So yeah, Parallel HR Solutions, we are a technology staffing partner. We do some financial staffing as well, and some other support roles, but mainly focused in the technology sector. So we partner with organizations in Utah, but also throughout the country. Several clients in New York, Connecticut, Miami, Austin, and we help them identify talent out in the marketplace to help them fill their open headcount in around technology. And as you know, in Utah, I mean, it's just blown up here.
There's a lot of tech here now.
Oh yeah, ton of
It
tech.
has been
Ton of
crazy.
tech, yeah. And unemployment's like in the tech market's like 1% or whatever. So it's challenging.
Now
it's one of the
just
biggest
find
challenges.
a better job. Go to the next cool job.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what everybody's doing. It's like, wow, because everybody's hungry to get people staffed. It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, no, it's completely true, and it's a challenge in the type of ecosystem that we're in because you end up really stealing candidates from other companies here locally, and we take the approach that we like to partner with companies who are open to relocating people from outside of the state. And who are open to exploring other avenues like the H-1B avenue and things of that nature. And since I came from out of the state, and several of my employees are not from Utah either, we can relate to people who are thinking about moving here and who haven't. We can tell them the positives, the negatives, the reality of it. When I moved here, all I knew is a perception of Utah. Right?
Yep.
And like my friends, when I came out here, they said, "Oh, you're gonna get 3 wives? Okay, yeah, good for you."
That's a thing.
Yeah, and I'm still single. I mean, I don't know how that works, but
It doesn't always work out.
yeah. But yeah, there is. I like to say, what you don't know, you don't know. And
true.
people who aren't here really, they don't know about it, even though Utah is now published in multiple publications like Forbes and so forth, as
Well, the Olympics
top-
helped. The
Yeah.
Olympics helped a little.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a city. It is a place on the map. There's more people than just the Mormons.
Yeah. Salt Lake City, actually, especially over the last 10 years, has become extremely diverse.
Yeah.
The state itself is predominantly still, Mormon, but Salt Lake City itself is predominantly not. It's actually the opposite. That's what I've found.
Yeah.
So it's a good mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So that's what you do. So what is?
Go for it.
I'm
Go for
hogging up the interview, Ryan.
it,
I
man.
apologize.
Do it.
I'm just going with the flow here, man. I'm just feeling it. So, Biz for Good. We always ask all of our folks. Our philosophy is that the true secret to success is the impact you can make on others, the connections you can make, the be good, do good attitude that you can have in this life. What does Biz for Good mean to Michael Dash and your business and what you're doing and all the things you're doing?
Yeah, so, I'm a big believer in paying it forward. I always say pay it forward, it'll always pay you back. And, I've participated in a lot of different nonprofit organizations and activities.
Tell us about some of
have incorporated those into my business.
Yeah, I know you've done a lot. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting ahead. I apologize.
No.
I'm getting excited. I apologize.
Listen,
so I'll just let you go.
when there's two guys talking who both obviously have ADD, it's a challenge.
Man, he caught on really quick, didn't he? That didn't take very long at all.
I know the signs.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, so, one of the things, actually, I'll just start with my business. One of the things I do with my business is we have a community service program. So we allow all our employees to take a day off or split it up 8 hours anytime throughout the year to go volunteer at, any community service event of their choosing that really means something to them. And we encourage that, and we rolled that
So you don't
out.
have a list of approved stuff.
No, no.
If they feel strong about it, then that's that's their passion. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has a different cause. Like everybody's walked in
So
a different
true.
path. So, my cause might be one thing because it affected a family member, and somebody's going to have something different. So we allow them to choose, and we encourage that. And then, we also every year I've brought the whole company out to the homeless shelter, and we'll feed the homeless. We'll cook the food for them, and we'll feed the homeless down at the road home. Or last year we actually went and we played with the kids at one of the places in, I believe it's in Murray, one of the homeless shelters there. So we're always, trying to push a positive message that way. As far as like
awesome.
some of the major other organizations that I've been a part of, when I moved to Utah, I had already been selected to run the New York City Marathon, and I had never run a marathon before. I put my name in; it's a lottery, and I came out here, and I was like, "Oh, I got to train for this thing, right?" And I'm like, "Damn!"
I got selected. I didn't think I was going to get selected.
So I was like, "Man, how am I going to train for this alone? This is going to be a challenge." And I literally was here a week. I walked in a pizza shop, and I saw a flyer for Team in Training. Now, Team in Training is part of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and they actually train you to run marathons, and you raise money while they do that for you, and that all goes to LLS and to their leukemia research, cancer research, and so forth. So I went to a meeting.
That was 10 days after you got to Utah.
That was 10 days after I got to Utah. Yeah.
Wow.
I went to a meeting, and they got me. So I heard some of the stories, and there was a gentleman in my brother's grade in high school who's the valedictorian, who had a full ride to Cornell, who actually passed away at 23 from leukemia, and this guy was so healthy. And then there was another gentleman who was on a wrestling team in our neighboring city. We actually had one wrestling team when we were growing up with 2 high schools combined. And
interesting.
he was like an all-state wrestler, and then he also got leukemia and passed away. So while I didn't have family members that were afflicted, I had those things that were pretty close to me seeing that, and it was a cause that pulled at me. So I joined, and then I ended up running 4 marathons with them. I did New York, I did Salt Lake City, I did Vancouver, Canada, and Anchorage, Alaska. And and I raised money for them for all 4 of those.
Yeah, wasn't it something like $70,000 or something like that? Or?
Actually, fast forward, great segue. Fast forward, 3 years after my 3rd marathon, I had back surgery. And then I tried working out too quick, and I had another back surgery. So I had 2 more back surgeries. I decided because this was the state of mind I was in at that time, I had to prove to myself I could run 1 more marathon after these back surgeries. So I did it. It was painful, and I said, all right, I'm hanging it up, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't do anything with LLS for 3 years. And then last year, they randomly called me, and they're like, congratulations. I'm like, on what? And they're like, you've been nominated for the Man of the Year, Woman of the Year fundraising competition. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. And, at the time, I was in kind of a negative state of mind. I was reluctant. I was trying to find excuses why not to do this. But I said, you know what, I'll go meet with you. Fine, I'll meet with you. So I met with them. They told me what it was all about. And they told me, here are the 2 kids we're doing it in honor of, 2 4-year-olds here in Utah, 4 and a 5-year-old here in Utah who had leukemia, who are going through chemo. And it was over then. There was no possible way I could say no. So even though I was like, how am I going to do this? Then it turned to, okay, I'm going to go all out. And, I formed a team and had some great friends who helped me out. And over 10 weeks, I put together several fundraising events. I threw a foodie event. I had 4 chefs cooking live. I had 75 people there, an open bar, the whole deal. And in 10 weeks, we were able to raise $75,000.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And look, I'll tell you, as I was in it, I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, I was so stressed out, right? Because I was doing all these other things. But after it was over, it was the most fulfilling thing that I've really ever done in my life. And, I was really proud of it. And, it's things like that are, important.
Matter.
That matter. Yeah. When you can have an impact on, these two little kids, right? And I'm complaining that this guy quit in my office and walked out without giving me notice. And I'm like, this is BS, man, I hate business and I hate this, da 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 da. And like, I mean, it was a ridiculous.
Put some perspective into it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. It allowed me to start changing the way I thought about things and approached life. Not only my business, but life.
So is that what started you on a positive path, or path to positivity, or?
Yeah. That was one of the things. And then in November, I went on a trip to Bali. It was called Unconventional Life, and it was a bunch of like entrepreneurs who wanted to kind of transform their life and kind of maybe work. Not be stuck in an office so much, like where create the create the life you want and everything and things like that. And I attended this. I mean, we briefly talked about this before, but one of the sessions they had there was on flow, and I didn't know what flow was. Right,
Like, Flo, doesn't she work from the back?
Oh,
She's Flo.
Flo.
Hey, come get me.
When they
she's
said
a waitress.
when they said
Kiss my grits. That dates me. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't. I'm an East Coast guy. Grits and the East Coast, they don't get along.
Alice, the show, the TV show. Yeah, it was a while back. 70s. It was in the 70s.
You'll have to shoot it over on the VHS.
Yeah,
Give me the VHS
yeah,
copy.
I probably got
When
it,
I go back
actually.
home to visit my parents, they still have theirs, so don't worry.
Very
We're
good.
And an 8 millimeter.
8 mil? Yeah, there you go.
But Flo.
We took it off.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
took you
so-
totally out of flow. Sorry.
No, it's totally it's totally fine.
Ryan did it, too.
I
It's your
know.
fault this time.
So as I was sitting there listening to Flo, look, I was a guy who worked in New York City, and I used to walk down the street, and when somebody would look at me, I would think, what I would think to myself? Yeah, like, what the hell is he looking at, or is she looking at? That's what I would think to myself. Just that negative mindset, right? And Flo was just talking about, just, first of all, clearing out all these negative beliefs that you have, and they go through this process and everything, and then, putting in positive beliefs. And really the whole theory behind it of, if it's not a hell yes in whatever you do in your life, it should be an F no.
There you go.
Right?
That's the biz hack for the day, too. And I've heard that before, and it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Very true.
And then
And
it's,
if you want to learn more about flow, flow.
The psychology.
Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. I just love saying his name. I like bringing his book up because it's fun to say his name. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. It took me like 3 days to learn how to say his name.
Mihai.
don't test me on that. That won't go well with this accent. No.
Right on.
And it also talks about following your intuition, right? And manifesting your future, right? So if you really want something and you continually talk about it, then, and you reach out to people about it, then they're going to have connections to it. And somebody else's. It's going to resonate with somebody, and that's how you manifest your future, and where you want it to be. And
So true.
and that's and then following that intuition, right? And
That's how the Biz4Good show started.
Yeah, you just started talking about it.
I started talking
people
about
talk
it.
about the secret, that guess what, guys? It's not a secret. What you look at is what you find. I mean, it's really simple. What you put out in the world, you get back. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's funny that we get these aha moments and like, oh my gosh, this concept is really simple.
Yeah.
But why don't we do it?
I think we get stuck between our right ear and our left ear.
We're our own worst enemy, as usual.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started, So while I was sitting there, real quickly, while I was sitting there listening to this, I was leaning over to the person next to me, like, because these people were giving examples of how this affected their life, and I was leaning over to the person next to me, and I was like, yeah, you know what we call that back east? That's called coincidence, okay? All right? This is not this flow. Give me a break with this BS, all right? This is what I was doing during their session. And the person's just like, just listen to them, just listen. So I just sat there and listened, and they asked a question at the end of it, and I don't know what came over me, but there were like 30 people there, and I knew like 2 of them, and I raised my hand, and I just like dumped a whole bunch of stuff out about what I was going through personally. You know, I was dealing with a lawsuit, I was letting it affect me, and I was a real negative attitude, and, you know, a bunch of other things. And then the 2 people said, hey, let's talk before you leave. And I sat down and I talked to him for about an hour beforehand, and I was still skeptical. But on my flight back, I was like, you know what? Maybe it would be nice to live in a positive mindset. Maybe it would be nice to approach things and look at everything from the good that could come out of it versus the bad part of it, which is what I used to look at. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to take their course. And I did. And it started totally changing my mindset.
Wow, that is powerful.
You know, a lot of wows out of us today.
Yeah, you're wowing us, man.
Awesome.
That's good stuff. I mean, transformations are the most powerful pieces when we know that this didn't work, this life didn't work for us, and now we can be an example for others to say, you know what, when I did this is the life I wanted to have.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is this the life you wanted to have?
It is, and it's getting there. And, you know, look, we're all a work in progress,
forward.
right? We're all a work in progress, right? There's always going to be moments where you react like your old self, right? But now I can recognize that right away and correct it instead of let it permeate and, you know, and then continue and try to improve on it. And, you know, so those are really important things to me. And, you know, I try every day.
I think
So
that
that
goes
leads us
into
into
hashtag.
I'm activated.
Or,
Yes.
I am activated.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The letter I, the letter M, and activated. I am
I
activated.
am activated.
Yes. Check
So-
out our page on Facebook and check our.
Is it
W-
/ I am activated?
No, it's just the letter I am activated.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
But
Pop
you
it
did.
right in. I thought you said slash or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Or I mean, / for Facebook. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
facebook.com / I am activated,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
there you go. Check that out. That leads us into the last question. And I'm going to give that to you, Ryan, because I think he's just set up that last question. Powerfully powerful. Folks, we want to give you a gold nugget that you can take with you and use in business or in your life. And I'll shut up now.
You're totally cool, Bobby.
You said that like 4 times
I
already.
know.
Come on.
I'm so full of crap when it comes
I never say that because I won't shut up. I mean,
There you go. Okay, I have just learned something new today that I'll get to. Own it.
He really
right?
wants
just
to
own it.
He wants me to
Own it,
talk,
own it.
apparently. How do you stay positive when challenged or when life challenges your business or in life? How do you stay positive?
yeah, I think you know, a lot of it is what we talk about in activation, and a lot of other things, and flow is part of it also. You know, I've been in a 5.5-year lawsuit with my ex-business partner. 5.5 years, yeah, it like just litigation's drawn on and on and on, and for most of that time, I let it affect me. I was miserable. I didn't treat people well. I still went out and in the workplace. I still went out and volunteered and, you know, gave back and everything. But my life wasn't succinct, right? I was acting one way in the office, frustrated, angry, bitter, and I was acting another way out in the world, which is the way I want to act everywhere, right? And you know, being in this lawsuit, it's obviously cost a lot of money, and it's been very emotional, and that's what's affected me most. But more than anything, it's eaten away time. And you know, look, you can make money. You know, you can make it back again. If you know how to make money, you can make money, right? It's not about money, but time. Once it's gone, it's gone,
Not
and
getting it back.
you can't get it back. So, you know, after my trip to Bali. And I came back. I'm part of a couple entrepreneur organizations. One being YEC. It's an organization with
Young Entrepreneurs
Council. Yes. It's a organization with founders who are 40 and under, who are doing over a certain amount in revenue.
Dang it, I can't be a part of that crew.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. And just for full discretion, I got in before I was 40.
Oh, very good. All right.
And there was an event that we have, and we have every year up in Powder Mountain, where people from all over the country come because it's a national organization. And, one of my entrepreneur buddies came and he said, hey, I'm going to activate everybody at this event. And I said, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're going to activate everybody? And he's like, well, I just want to make sure everybody's having a great time, positive energy, having a positive mindset and things of that nature. And I said, you know what? That sounds cool. I'm going to activate more people than you are. And
He's not competitive at all.
So what started off as kind of a joke, everybody really resonated with it afterwards, and we decided to do something with it. And basically what activation means is we follow 5 principles, and it's spelled out paper. Okay, the first thing is being positive about everything you do, and looking for the positive in your life and in people. Right.
it.
The second is being authentic to who you are, because everybody's going to have an opinion of you, and it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. Be who you are, right?
Oh, awesome.
Authentic.
Let's do another wow. That's awesome.
Wow.
The third is being passionate about everything.
Oh, we don't got
that
any
you
of
do.
that around.
You two need an injection of passion, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Never enough.
Yeah, and really, hustling, regardless of what you're doing, put all your heart
Mr.
into
V.
it. Hustle every day.
Mr. V to
You know,
write a check.
Yeah,
write a
I mean,
check.
give it all you got. What's the sense in showing up to work if you're not going to give it all you have? It's just like in sports when we were kids. When you're practicing, give it everything you
110%. I remember
exactly.
the coach. I'm like, dude, that math, I'm not sure it works, but hey, I'll give it my best.
Yeah, and the fourth principle is being empathetic to others, and
very cool.
paying it forward. Like I said before,
Wow,
it's all
did you
about
guys
paying
just
it
come up with
forward.
that?
Yeah, we came
That
up
is
with these 5,
powerful.
and the last one is being resilient. Like, we are all going to get knocked down in life, right?
Oh my
Everybody's
gosh.
going to. But the fact of the matter is,
I
it
need a
doesn't
shirt.
matter.
We need a shirt.
We will get you shirts. We will get you shirts.
okay.
And it doesn't matter what your mother-in-law says, or what your boss says, or how they act, or what they do to you, or what the
4 agreements, baby. You don't take anything personal.
or
Because
what-
it's never about you.
Yeah, and the biggest one is, or what the president says, because we had all this turmoil out here
Oh,
with the election
yes.
and all this negativity.
Yeah.
Everybody is in charge of paving
life.
their own path.
Yes.
Right? And when,
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen, brother.
Hallelujah.
when you get knocked down, it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's
How many
about
times you get
exactly how many times you get back up, and how you're going to pave your path forward. And that's
I am
really-
activated right
Yes,
now. dude, Ryan.
that's what I
am
like
totally
to hear.
activated.
We have
This is
activation
awesome.
going on here.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, this is amazing. Amazing.
I love it. Oh, people in the audience, you have got to be here. I know you got to be feeling this. This is thank you, Mr. Dash. This is awesome.
Absolutely. And we're just starting with the activation movement, but I encourage everybody to go on our page, follow us. We put out quotes of the day, motivating quotes of the day, and things of that nature. And
Do you have a
we're gonna
meetup
have-
or anything? Do you
No,
guys meet?
What we're going to do is we're actually having in LA on Sunday night. We're having our first entrepreneur activated dinner. But it's not just for entrepreneurs activation. This is for everybody, and we actually have following from around the world. So there's a lot of people in other countries, and Parveen Panwar is my friend, a fellow entrepreneur who started it, and I jumped on board with him, and he's actually from India, so we have a following. I have an office in India. We have a nice following over there, so we're gonna start having challenges. We're gonna have a smile challenge, something real simple. Everybody just smile, take a picture, post it, and then we're gonna roll out a bunch of other challenges. We're putting everything together as is, and we'll get you shirts. We'll put a store up there also as well. So everything we'll keep you updated, so you can update
Seriously,
your audience.
let Biz for Good. We want to be a part of it, man.
We're a part of it.
We want to promote that, do whatever, because that is just such a B4G.
It's B4G.
And I try to bring it into my office, because bring that high level of energy into the office and activate everybody and make sure everybody's just doing the best they can every day and giving it their all and being positive about it.
Awesome.
Hashtag.
On that note, yeah. I have a feeling we could talk all day with Mr.
We
Dash.
could be here all day.
I just love your last name, Mr. Dash.
Michael
That
Dash.
is just the coolest name.
Nobody loves it as much as I do. And
He's right there, right there.
that's right.
I wish I had something to do with it, but I can only thank my grandfather when he came over from Russia, Romania, that he changed it to Dash. It used to be like Dashevsky, and if I had to grow up with that name, I'll take Dash any day of the week.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael, for being on the show. Thank you so much for bringing your energy, your activation. I think we both felt it.
Yep,
and we want to be a part. So keep in touch with us. We'll spread the word. You spread the word. Let's get out there.
Awesome. Can I mention one more thing? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. All your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's Ryan usually catches it.
Oh,
and says,
okay. Hand it off to Ryan, and I'll let him hand it back to me.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm just crushing the flow of this show on it.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. No, yeah. Where can we find you? How can we find Michael Dash and all you? What you're doing?
Everything that's going on.
Yeah, all you're doing.
So I wanted to just mention one more organization I'm a part of that means a lot to me. It's called Survivor to Thriver, and it's here in Utah, and we're helping people who've been in abusive relationships. And it's a nonprofit that just started, and we're having our first event Friday the 21st. It's over at Infinity Center. It's at 7 p.m. to midnight.
That's next Friday?
Next Friday. It's called Awaken the Thriver Within. And there's 3 or 4 different speakers, DJ, food.
So we can put this. Can we put this flyer up
absolutely.
on our Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely. Put that up there, and you can get tickets on that website. And
I think it goes back. Nope.
That's good, isn't it?
At Survivor to Thriver on the Facebook page, and then info survivor 2 thriver @gmail.com. And we'd love to have you there. It's going to be a great event. There's going to be a sound bath, healing there, hors d'oeuvres, drinks, dancing, education, keynote speakers, and all that jazz, and then a silent auction and all that. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I plugged that because it's been surprising
7 to
me.
midnight.
Yeah.
Is there going to be dancing?
There is going to be dancing.
Oh, good.
Get
I can get my
Bobby's
wife there then. She'll come with.
Yeah, please do
Dancing
come.
that's right up her alley. We'll be there.
Yeah, and-
What is there a price?
Yeah, I believe it's $20 or $25 a ticket. I'm sorry, I don't.
Well,
But feel
just
free
look it
if
up.
you'd like to donate. Yeah, $25 a ticket. There we go.
Oh, very good.
And
That's a good date night right there. That's a perfect
yeah,
date night.
it was surprising to me how bad of a situation we have here in Utah when it comes to domestic abuse. I mean, I had no idea before I moved out here. It definitely needs attention.
Unfortunate.
Around it. Yeah,
The more awareness we can get, the better.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
So in terms of finding
How
me,
can we find you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can find me at parallelhr.com. I mean, my email's michael.dash, D-A-S-H, at parallelhr.com. You can find me there. You can find me on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn. I don't hide. My information is out there in public. And anybody who's going through a challenging time in any of these areas, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to speak to them and let them know,
Get them activated.
Get them activated. Absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
Get them activated.
You have got 2 new followers, so.
Awesome. Just keep spreading the word and keep spreading
Absolutely.
positivity.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Hey, with that, let's end it, my brother.
Let's end it.
Hashtag
Be good, do good.
Hashtag
Be
be good, do good. Hashtag
Be good, do good.